All right, guys, it is Money in the Bank season. We are 2 weeks shy of the annual Money in the Bank PLE, and we thought it would be the perfect idea to do a tier list of every single Money in the Bank winner / cash in. There's going to be some controversial takes, disagreements, discussions. Hopefully, it doesn't get to us having to go into our own Money in the Bank and determine who was the rightful, correct person. So before we start, I am joined with Shades and Deeks. What's going on, guys? Are you ready for Money in the Bank?
I am ready to go, mate. I'm ready to go for this. I'm excited. It's looking good.
Yeah. And Shades, you ready? You excited?
I'm excited for it from what we've seen so far with the current qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's going to be a great men and women's match. We've got some big hitters in there. Friday night, LA joined it. Massive hit for the men's team.
Yeah,
might be the best Money in the Bank PLE we've ever had.
Well, we'll get onto that. We will get onto the PLE itself. Obviously, we'll be doing a prediction video that will be coming up in a couple of days. But before we can get onto that, guys, we need to talk about the very, very first ever Money in the Bank winner. So let's go all the way back, way back to 2005 at WrestleMania 21. The winner was Edge. The Rated R Superstar was the very first person to win Money in the Bank. And he successfully cashed in on John Cena after Cena had retained his title at the Elimination Chamber. And if I remember rightly, it took 2 spears because Cena kicked out of the first one. And then Edge hit him with another one, then obviously won, handing the briefcase into Vince McMahon at the time. Mr. McMahon was the one that was given the briefcase. In my opinion, this is probably one of my favorites because we didn't know that how it happened, how it worked properly. It was kind of the first introduction to the Money in the Bank as a whole. I personally think it goes in the S tier. Before we get there, guys, I want your opinions.
Shades, go, mate. You go first.
It was a great. I remember it vividly. Mm-hmm. It was such a great moment for Edge and for Cena to start off something that still goes to this day as well. Like, you've got to think he started something where other PLEs and pay-per-views, as they were called back in the day, aren't around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick him in the ST. He started the whole thing, and it's still here today. So,
yeah, I agree with Shades there. The first ever Money in the Bank match with Edge winning, it was an amazing match, and I would say S tier. And his run with the belt and run with the briefcase was amazing. He kept taunting it, teasing it. It was so amazing. I enjoyed watching it. S tier for me too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Going into 2006, which was contested at WrestleMania 22. Guys, the winner, Rob Van Dam. Now, before we get into obviously discussing this, we've got to remember RVD pre-announced an Extreme Rules match at ECW One Night Stand on June 11th, 2006. And obviously RVD was successful. He won the match against John Cena. Obviously, Van Dam becoming the ECW champion and the WWE champion at the same time, culminating in both of those titles. In my opinion, I like it, but it goes in the A tier.
For me,
Thanks, whoever.
I'll go first. Go on. For me, it was very gutsy and brave by RVD not to cash in like everyone else has done, to announce who wants to take this person on and at a certain event is brave. So for me, it takes out from A, pushes into S. Just for that reason.
I was impressed with RVD. I would agree with both of you on how he called out what he wanted. Mm-hmm. One being the first person with the briefcase to call out what he wanted. And also, I think he's the first person to have his briefcase customized.
No, Edge was customized.
I think I can't remember if Edge's was or not. I can check while you're
I
discussing.
can't remember. I can't remember that, but I know they went all out for it. Gave him a fully customized logo, everything, background.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really happen nowadays much.
No, it's pretty bland
But
now.
I would not put him in S tier.
Okay.
I don't think he comes on the same level as Edge, who started it. So I would put him in the A tier.
All right. So that is a 2-1. Diggs, you good with him going in the A tier?
Yeah, I'm good with that, mate. I'm good with that.
All right. So obviously that's how we do it. We try and go by a unanimous decision. There's going to be times when we do agree and we feel like it should go somewhere when it isn't. Anywho, next we go into Mr. Kennedy. Now, Kennedy won it in 2007 at WrestleMania 23. Now, guys, before we get into this, there's two things that we have to remember. One, Kennedy never successfully cashed in his briefcase. He lost his briefcase to Edge on May the 7th, 2002 on Raw. Edge cashed it in the next night, even though it was aired later on SmackDown, defeating Undertaker to win. Cashing in after the Undertaker on SmackDown, defeating the Undertaker after his steel cage match with Batista to win the World Heavyweight Championship. So not only are we dealing with Mr. Kennedy in this one, we're dealing with Edge. Now, Kennedy may have won, but he didn't actually do anything with it. So sorry, Kennedy, but I put you in D because you didn't do anything other than win it. And then I would put Edge's 1 in B. So Kennedy in D and Edge in B. So whoever won, Deeks go, Shades go next. What do you reckon?
I was not happy with Kennedy's run at all. The fact that he lost it, the first part, I just really wasn't. It just didn't sell for me.
It was the injury, wasn't it? Kennedy was injured.
The whole thing was a big mess up for him. It's not all his fault, because yes, he was injured, but I'm gonna have to put him in B. I would put him lower if he wasn't injured, but the fact he was injured, kind of not all of his fault. So yeah, B,
Right.
definitely B.
Okay, and where do you put Edge's? Because obviously Edge beat Kennedy for the briefcase. And then,
Well, we've already got an Edge in S. Now, would we consider Edge to go back into the S tier for that, or would we put Edge in the A tier? Because still, because it's not Kennedy's fault. He was injured. They had to come up with a new angle. They used Edge for the new angle. I can't decide whether Edge needs to go in A or S, but I think, to be fair to Kennedy, we stick Edge on this occasion in A, because they both work together to get through that.
Okay, Deeks, what you saying?
It's a shame Kennedy couldn't cash in through injuries, but for the first tiny bit of it, it was decent. He had good promos, cut good teases, but unfortunately, he didn't get cash in through injury. Edge was lucky; he got an opportunity, took it, cashed in quickly, and got his, I think, third run as champion off of that. So for me, I'd put Kennedy in C for his bad luck, and Edge in A for his opportunity and luck come flying at him.
All right, so I think it's unanimous that Edge goes in A. All right, I would say it's a unanimous. I think Kennedy should be lower down. However, you kind of have swayed me. Obviously, it wasn't his fault; it was an injury. I would be happy sticking him in C because obviously he did win it, but the injury didn't help it. Shades, you said B, and Deeks, you say C. So I reckon because there's the 2-1. Oh, you said A. Okay, so
I said Kennedy and Edge should go into A, because it's
both of them
not
should go to
Kennedy's
A?
fault that he got injured, and Edge, we've already got Edge in S.
Yeah. All right, guys, we need to make a definitive decision. I don't think he's A material personally. Would we be in agreement if we put him in B?
I can deal with a B.
I'm happy to bump on a B. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
All right. So he goes into big. Obviously, he would have been perfect for the Money in the Bank, but as you said, the injury wasn't his fault. Things happen. All right, we stick him in B. He's looking all right. Next, guys, 2008, contested at WrestleMania 24. CM Punk was the winner. So CM Punk cashed in on June 30th, 2008 on Raw, defeating Edge after an assault by Batista during Edge's promo to win the World Heavyweight Championship. So obviously Batista getting the upper hand on Edge, obviously Batista being a babyface here, and Punk getting his first world title victory in WWE. Guys, I'm a fan of Punk, but I don't think I can put him in an SRA. I think he goes in B. Shades, I'll let you go first this time.
Where do
what you
I
saying?
begin with one of my favorite all-time wrestlers? He doesn't. But obviously, this is not his only run. So, based on just this run, I'm not saying B. I'm not saying S because he did do well with it, but it could have been better. But it was still great. So I think he'd be in a similar tier to RVD.
Yep.
So I'm gonna see this run in the A tier.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm the one that's on the shelf for you. So I'm not a fan of Punk, or not. I don't hate Punk. I'm in the middle. I can love him and hate him. So I'm neutral to you. So his first run with his briefcase was decent. He had a good couple of shows with it. He taunted it a fair little bit, but his cash-in wasn't the best for me first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna beat him.
All right, guys. There is one other thing I do want to say. This was in 2008. If you try and cast your minds back, I know it was a long time ago. But Punk only had the briefcase for a little while because Jericho took the title from Punk because this was the Jericho Shawn Michaels feud, and he felt like the title needed to be on the line here. This is when Jericho was the real heel, wearing like a suit and stuff. So Punk kind of got shafted with the amount of time that he was actually the champion because of other people were ahead of him, even though he was champion. So I think, man, honestly, I think he. Dix, where did you say?
I said I'll give him a B, but
And Shade, what did you say?
I said A.
I said A.
I think B because his second run was better.
Oh, his second one was way better. Way better.
I would put him in B, and then put him in the second one in A. Personally,
Yeah.
because let me just get onto the second one because obviously Punk won it back to back. So Punk won it again the following year, 2009, WrestleMania 25, and then he cashed in on Edge. Cash-in was Edge defeated Jeff Hardy for the world title, World Heavyweight Championship, immediately after Hardy had won the title in a ladder match against Edge. So, yeah, I just feel like Punk's second one was better. So I would put Punk's first one in B and Punk's second one in A. Are you guys in agreement with that?
Yes,
I agree with
definitely.
that. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. I feel like that's fair because Punk is up there, but yeah. All right. So let's go 2010. So 2010, contested at WrestleMania 26. Am I right in saying that? Yes.
With the American.
That's right. So we've got one match. So it's got contested at WrestleMania 26, one match, and a Money in the Bank 2 matches. So WrestleMania, there was 2 briefcases on the line at this point, guys. So one was for the WrestleMania. It says WrestleMania 26 briefcase winner was Jack Swagger, and the Money in the Bank SmackDown briefcase winner was Kane. So this is the point when we kind of get, if you look at the graphic, the red and blue briefcases kind of appear. Swagger is the last one to pick up the black briefcase by the look of things. So let's start with Swagger first. Swagger cashed in. He defeated Chris Jericho after Edge attacked Jericho during a promo to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Honestly, I think I could do this quick and easy. Swagger goes for a C because he was terrible, in my opinion. The whole thing, like Swagger, when he got to with Zeb Coulter and Cesaro, was better than anything that he had done prior to that. And even though he may have won the Money in the Bank, I wasn't a fan. I don't think it was great at all. So personally, I will put him in C. Deeks, what you saying?
Personally, myself, mate, I didn't like Swagger at all. His style was decent, but his wrestling ability was awful. It was
Mhm.
it was clumsy. He wasn't very good. He didn't really deserve Money in the Bank at all. So for me, mate, his run was awful. He didn't really do nothing with it. He cashed it in okay, but still for me, it's D for me.
All right, Shades.
Where do you begin with the all-American that was not very good at being on his own? The
Mhm.
run was rubbish. I remember it for being rubbish. Out of all the other people in that Money in the Bank match, and he won it. In my opinion, massive mistake from the creative. He wasn't like in my opinion, was not like a top superstar at all. You know, low mid card superstar.
Yep.
I if I had my way, I'd put him lower than D.
All right, let's
I'd
stick
just
him
leave
D.
him where he is
I think
now.
that's a unanimous decision that he's D. Guys, staying on topic of where we are, I think personally Kane goes into B because he was the first person to win Money in a Bank and cash in on the same night, making history. And obviously, he cashed in on Rey Mysterio, this was a nice build. Like, this was good for Kane, in my opinion, because after that mask had gone, he had a nice little run. He kind of died down. It wasn't as, I guess, a scary monster as he was supposed to be. I enjoyed this. So I would say Kane, for me, goes, I would put him in B.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Okay.
I loved the fact that he won and was that cocky with it in his own Dominic way. That he, in his head, he's like, I don't want to wait. I'm gonna go get my title now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not S tier, it's not B tier, it's A tier. It's the first one. It's the big red machine. It's the monster. It's Kane. You know, it's what you expect from someone you call the big red machine, the monster.
Yeah.
You know, you expect him to just be impatient,
Mm-hmm.
and it paid off. It's not an S tier because we can't say it was a great run. It was an hour and a half. You know, we're talking hours here with the briefcase. You
I
know,
don't think it
but
was an hour, mate.
on the history side of being the first person to do it, and in the way he done it was brilliant. It's A tier stuff.
All right. And Deeks, what you saying?
Oh, I'm going to agree. It's a great win by Kane. It was a great cash in, very quick, very aggressive. I liked it a lot. And for me, I'm going to agree with Shades. For me, he's an A tier result by Big Red Machine. He's A tier all the way for me.
Yeah.
Damn
Fair
right,
enough.
Deeks.
I mean, I'm not against it. Honestly, I'm not against it. The only reason I said B, maybe I did grade it a little low, but I was just thinking because the run with the title was decent. But I don't know. Sometimes Kane with a title, he's one of those guys that doesn't need a title. You know,
Yeah.
like. But I guess at this point he really did. He needed something.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously, just so you know, the match with Rey Mysterio, when he cashed in, was 54 seconds long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much they were trying to monster him.
Impatient big red machine.
I don't even think he held big guys that long either. I think they were about 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think I was looking for it. I can't find the time. Yeah, I can't find the time of when he won it to.
I think he won it like 2 matches earlier on the night, and then cashed it in straight afterwards. So I don't think it's that long.
So that was the second match on the card, I believe. Wait, no, that was the first match on the card, and then he cashed in 1, 2, 3 matches later. So that was the first match on the card, and then three
About
matches
an hour,
later,
an hour and a half.
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah, about that. About an hour later, he cashed it. Crazy. All right, so Kane goes in the A tier.
Yeah.
Right, Kane went to the back, sat there with the briefcase, and thought, "No, I ain't carrying this around. I'm not a lawyer."
Literally, what? It's funny you say that because later on in his career, he becomes Corporate Kane. Who would have carried
Yeah,
a briefcase?
I know.
So you know.
And now he's a fucking. And now in real life is a mayor or something now.
Yeah, yeah.
He is the mayor. Well, what's he the mayor of?
I think it's Knox. Is it Knox County?
Knoxville.
Knoxville, Knox County. That's me thinking about
mayor of Knoxville. And it's Knox something. So you know,
I don't know.
we had Kane the big red machine, Kane the corporate person, and now we have government Kane.
Yeah, yeah. All right, going into someone that definitely isn't like Kane. We've got the Miz. Guys, Miz defeated Randy Orton to win the WWE Championship on November 2nd, 2010, on an episode of Raw, following Orton's successful title defense against Wade Barrett. Now, for me, I feel like this was important because a lot of people doubted Miz at the time. And I think this was one of those things that really solidified that Miz could go. You know, with all the disrespect that people put on him, and he was like, he was a TV guy. Like, obviously, he was on something else first. Then he was went into wrestling, and you know, I feel a lot of people don't think that he took it serious. But the run that he had with the WWE title for the first time, headlining WrestleMania with John Cena, guys, I've got. I know you're going to disagree, but for me, this is one of my favorite cash-ins of all time. I've got to put Miz in the S tier because it made him so much more of who he is now. So for me, I think this was like it became something more, which is what the briefcase is supposed to do. That's why I put the Miz in S. One of you can go first.
Sorry, Dick. Sorry, Shay's jumping in, mate. I agree with you, mate. There, that case made Miz. Without that case, Miz would never have survived. He would have been gone in 6 months. 6 months for me.
Yeah.
That case made him. He needed that case so badly. He worked it like a G, and he cashed in lovely to win his first title. For me, that makes him S tier. Sorry, mate. I'll give it to you all day long. He's S tier. Sorry. But yeah, he needed it badly. So yeah, S tier. Great.
What do I think of the man who pranced around and said the words "I am awesome" every single night?
Still does.
He belongs in the S tier. It was a great night. It was very well done, and it catapulted his career to what we see now. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Can I give you another little information as well?
Go
The
for
Miz
it.
is the only superstar to win the Money in the Bank while being a champion, and the only triple champion in WWE history. He had the United States and both tag titles, and then he become Money in the Bank. Only person to do that. I mean,
S
however,
tier.
you can look at it as, I guess, 2 titles because the tags were unified at the time. However, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Let's
yeah, man.
get on to the GOAT.
Yeah, all right. The Flying Goat, obviously, which he wasn't at the time, contested 2011 at the Money in the Bank. This is at this point, it was already a PLE pay-per-view. So Daniel Bryan, we have 2 at this PLE. Daniel Bryan wins the SmackDown. Del Rio wins the Raw. We'll do Daniel Bryan first, Del Rio after, both 2011. Daniel Bryan cashed in on the Big Show at TLC to win the World Heavyweight Championship after Big Show defeated Mark Henry in a chairs match to win the title. Now, I remember this because Big Show was the one that kept telling Daniel Bryan to cash in on Mark Henry, and he kept trying to help him to do it. And then finally, after the match with Mark Henry and Big Show, Daniel Bryan seized his moment and cashed in on the Big Show. But it wasn't the greatest. Like, it wasn't a great run. It was okay, but I'd put him in the B tier, personally.
I will agree with you on that. That's exactly where I was going to put him. Really like Daniel Bryan. The whole thing with Mark Henry was great. Wasn't the best. The story for him could have been so much better.
Yeah.
It took a few years for him to be Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it did.
If we're talking about prime, when he had all of the heat with Triple H and the rest of the goons, then yeah, he'd be higher up. But like from how it was with Henry and Big Show and that, it's a mid card thing. It's a B grade at the end of the day. It was entertaining, but it wasn't like the OMG moments that we get now, or we even back then. Let's look at Edge, the first one. It was an OMG moment. The Miz, it was an OMG moment. The CM Punk, it was an OMG moment. Daniel Bryan doesn't really fit in the. It wasn't, it wasn't special.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, he's B grade.
All right, and Deeks.
Yeah, I agree with you, boys. But for me, I agree with you, boys. But it's not a B for me. Mine's A. So, but yeah, it'd be a B for me as well. But for me, it's a bit higher as mine's A. But don't exist, so it's a B. So yeah, it was a nice run. Awkward for a little guy to cash in against 2 big guys as well.
Yeah.
So he had to pick his spot carefully, and he found it. So I'll give it to him. He done well. Good cash in. Good run with it. But yeah, it's just a B. Unfortunately, if I had it, mine's A. But yeah, B.
Yeah, because you remember he was Bryan was teasing that he would only cash in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he did do that.
And
that
was his whole thing, and he didn't. And for me, I was just like, imagine if Bryan did do that at Mania. It would have been so different.
It was close though.
It was. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I'm getting my. I'm just trying to research now. I can't remember what run it was when
while
Sheamus
you research that, now be a good moment to say, if you like what you're seeing or you disagree with anything and you want to voice your own opinion, let's say you don't agree with the Miz being in S or RVD being in A, let us know in the comments down below, and we'd love to get your feedback on it and what you guys think. Don't
100%.
forget to sub to the channel and drop a like if you like what we're doing. It does go a long way for us.
It does indeed. Yeah, no. What I was thinking was completely off. For some reason, I had in my head that this was when Sheamus defeated Bryan in like 30 odd seconds or something like that at WrestleMania. But I think that was a lot later.
Yeah, a lot later, mate. A lot later.
It's fine. All right, so where are we sticking him? B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Next, we've got Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio, obviously, in the same PLE that Daniel Bryan won his Del Rio on the Raw briefcase. He cashed in on CM Punk to win the WWE Championship at SummerSlam after Punk defeated John Cena and was attacked by Kevin Nash. Oh, guys, what a that story still haunts me to this day.
Yeah, that was a brutal storyline.
Let's not go there. I'm so glad we're not covering that. I feel Del Rio kind of cashed in. It was at this moment where I was like, yeah, it was all right. It was good. But this was like the CM Punk build, you know? Yeah, like for me, I was, I think I've got to put it in A. I think this goes in the A category. Obviously, it was
No.
Del Rio. I'll give you my reason. Del Rio beating Punk to win the championship. Man, at this point, CM Punk was on like a huge momentum. You know, like he had his, we've done his pipe bomb by this point. So, like, I just felt like this was something so much more. Because someone finally defeated the guy that had beaten John Cena. You know, obviously for the Money in the Bank and stuff like that. So to me, Del Rio beating Punk was that important. So yeah, for me, I'd put it in A.
Go on, Shades.
Oh, is Del Rio at the end of the day who we're talking about? It's Alberto Del Rio. He wasn't really special in really anything that he done. He was just there.
I do disagree.
I
Carry
didn't
on.
like him, you know, with what he was doing with Punk then. I didn't like how he was after. You know, maybe it's not all Del Rio's fault because at the end of the day, it is down to the creative team back then. Right? You know, wrestlers nowadays have so much more freedom with their own opinions and what they want. But to be honest, I just did not like Del Rio. I didn't get the point of Del Rio. You know, and then later on in his career, he came out with what was his name with the long hair, his own little ring announcer.
Oh, Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's it. Again, you know, was it entertainment? Yes, but was it needed? No.
All right.
But I'll stick him with Punk in the B tier.
Okay. Deeks.
See, I'm going to disagree with you, Shay. Sorry, mate, and probably you as well, buddy, as well. For me, he didn't cash in at all. He was just given to him. It's not even a cash in. It was like Punk went for a war with Cena and managed to win, and then he got destroyed by Kevin Nash. It wasn't a cash in, mate. It was just given to him. So it's not even a cash in. It's a D for me, mate.
Yeah, but then at the same
You know what?
time,
I'm going to change my opinion. D for Del Rio.
Nah.
No, he didn't. He didn't cash in. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing to Punk other than pin him. Punk was now on dead in the middle of the ring. Poor guy. So yeah. So yeah. Sorry, mate. Nothing for me. It's nothing for that, mate.
Let me.
So
So
yeah.
obviously we need to come to an agreement because obviously we still haven't got a definitive answer here. This is why I think it's so important. We had the infamous pipe bomb by Punk, right? Punk
One of the
wins at
greatest
Money.
moments of all time. Yes.
Punk wins. He beats Cena, runs out, right? Before he tries to run out, Del Rio had a Money in the Bank. Vince sent Del Rio out, and Punk ran. He climbed over the barrier, blew a kiss to Vince, and took that title and went. Right?
Yep.
We then get Punk still having this title. Then Del Rio cashes in. It ended this big moment. And I think it actually made Del Rio because he was the first person, like the Mexican, to come over and do something special. I'm not disregarding Rey Mysterio, but Ray was always around, like WCW 2005. You come back to WWE
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Anytime they had a Spanish Mexican kind of wrestler, they gimmicked them and they put them in such a weird position. The Mexicals, super crazy. You know, even with like, even I don't know, the last 5 years, the Lucha House Party, they hit nothing but disrespect on them. The only one that broke that mold and actually was successful was Alberto Del Rio. And to me, him having that title made it even more of a bigger deal because they put the rocket on him. And dude, he was hated, unanimously hated by everyone. And I think that was the importance. And the fact that he beat Punk's title, he took the title from Punk, who was the fan of everyone. Everyone was a fan of at that point. Made it even more of a bigger deal, which is why I think it should be higher up. I mean, if you're not going to say A, I would say B. But that's, to me, that's why it's a big thing. Like the story, there's something about it. It wasn't just Del Rio. There was more about this briefcase. And I think for me, that's why it should be an A. But if you're not going to agree with that, I would settle with a B. Anyone
See,
change?
I was at B and then had listened to Deeks' opinion and changed to D because I was like, you know what, I agree with what Deeks is saying. However,
Mhm.
I don't think he belongs in A.
Okay.
Damn right doesn't belong in B. I'm putting him in C. I will up to a C.
Deeks.
I'll happy go up to a C with him. Happy go up to a C. At a push, a B minus. I wouldn't give him a B. A B minus maximum. I'll give him. So I'll happy go C. If you're happy with that, I'm happy with that.
All right. Begrudgingly, I will put him in C. But
Begrudgingly.
I know, because I feel it's hard. Like I said, you got to look at it from what they were doing with Latin American wrestlers at that point.
Oh, don't get it wrong. I don't get it wrong, mate. I respect the real way he did with it, but for me, it's never a question. It was a abuse of power by the organisation and throwing him in under the bus. Unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah,
the
I
run he
agree.
had with the title was amazing. I get that, it was
Mhm.
awesome, but the cash in for me was never a cash in. And don't forget, this is about cash ins and money back winners, not
All right.
about the titles after they won.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree. But I'd said the only reason I think it's higher is because of what they done for Latin American wrestlers. Like it put them back on the map, and I think that's important. But
Oh yeah, it's
obviously,
definitely important. But on
yeah.
the pure fact of the briefcase and the cash in, for me, it's never a cash in. It's
All right.
always never. So yeah, see.
Okay. Arguably, guys, this is another one of my favorite ones, and I think it's a unanimous decision. Dolph Ziggler won the 2012 Money in the Bank, obviously at the PLE, successfully cashed in against the man we were just talking about, Alberto Del Rio. And it was probably one of the loudest pops I think I've heard on the Monday night, the Raw after WrestleMania. It was insane. And the moment from Dolph Ziggler winning it as a heel and slowly turning to become a face. And then by the time he won it, the crowd were behind him, really shows how good of a build it was. Unfortunately, the run wasn't the best. That was down to injury. However, the cash in itself, for me, the timing, everything about it was top tier. I put him in S. I think this is an S tier cash in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Dolph Ziggler run with that briefcase is one of the best I've seen ever for WWE, and it did make him. It gave him what he needed. It was a great run. He tormented the hell out of the champions with that briefcase for months and months and months.
Mhm.
And the cash in was amazing. I give it an A plus. So yeah, so A plus for me. But ain't no A plus there, so it'd be an S tier for me as well.
All right. Shade?
Probably one of my favorite Money in the Bank case runs. You know, I was watching live when he come out with the briefcase, and even the teases. You know, you hear his music. You're laying in the, you're laying in the middle of the ring. You hear his music, and the crowd popped every single time, even when it was being used as a tease, and he didn't come out.
Yeah.
And I just remember that night when you heard the start of his music, and he didn't come out, but it allowed, I can't remember who the match was, but it allowed the other person to get a quick roll up on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just taunting and teasing people for so long.
Oh yeah,
It was the way they had him do his run was just the essence of Dolph Ziggler, and it belongs in the S tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say the thing for me that made that moment even more special. Not only was it the fact that Ziggler finally cashed it in, and obviously he'd cashed it on Del Rio, but Del Rio had suffered a beatdown. Like he was in following that. It's literally that following Del Rio's handicap match against Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter, and a post-match assault by Swagger. So Swagger had attacked Del Rio after the match, and then he was selling the leg injury, and then Dolph come out. It was like, it felt like, remember that, as we were literally just saying, Edge's first time coming out as a Money in the Bank. It had that moment for me. It was like the
oh
Edge
yeah, all
coming
day
out
long.
and having that moment. But yeah, so that obviously unanimously goes in the S. This one's a controversial one, guys. John Cena. Now, personally, John Cena didn't need the Money in the Bank. I think the Money in the Bank at this point was for guys that were kind of coming up. The last few people just a few years before. Ziggler, Del Rio, Daniel Bryan, The Miz. And then all of a sudden, Cena wins. And honestly, I didn't like it. Not only
Nope.
that, Cena announced. So he made the announcement that he was going to put it on the line. So he turned it into a title match. He didn't cash in. And on top of that, he did not win the championship as his victory was due to a disqualification thanks to the interference of Big Show. So Cena was the first person to unsuccessfully cash in. I'm not going to put him in D, because I think that's a huge disrespect to Cena. But I will say I would put him in C. I don't think he didn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. It was unsuccessful. And he's not going to be one of these guys that kind of come out like Daniel Bryan or the others and cashed in. It felt completely stale. There could have been so many other people that had won this match. Like, I mean, the other people in that match, by the way, Big Show, Chris Jericho, Kane, The Miz, and John Cena. Jericho never won it. Kane had already won it. So it was either The Miz, Big Show, John Cena. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't a lot of people there. Personally, I would have given it to Jericho.
Yeah.
But Cena for me was the worst person to actually have the Money in the Bank just throughout its entirety of its run. But him taking a loss, I think if anyone else had taken that loss first, they may not have bounced back. Cena obviously could have. So that's why I put him in C. Whoever, one of you guys, what your thoughts?
I'm jumping in. Sorry, mate.
Oh,
This is why I put Cena's win and run in C, because what you said right at the end there, Cena, it was the only person at the time could bounce back from losing. He showed that briefcase is not 100% perfect every time. That's why I give him an S rating for that reason. He's the first person to lose a title whilst holding that briefcase.
So you put him in S?
Just for that reason. He showed that briefcase does not make you a champion straight away.
No.
He showed that it can be a weakness to have it.
All right, Shades, what are you saying?
But for me,
it's my turn. The poster boy of the company did not need to even be in the match. There was no reason to have him there. There was no reason for him to win. Massive respect to John Cena. I think, that's unanimous across the planet. He was pushed as the poster boy for so long. I'll go up until, the WrestleMania that we've just had. The torch kind of passed to Cody. But back then, he didn't need no briefcase.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at the roster back then. Just any other person should have been in that match besides Cena. But no, does he belong in D? No, I agree with you. He belongs in C for Cena.
No, sorry, boys.
All right.
I am not coming down off an S.
I ain't coming up from a C.
The Money in the Bank briefcase was 100% cash in. Cena proved by the way he did it that it's not a definite win for you with a briefcase. So I give it to him as an S. I'll go no
I'm
lower.
not coming up from a C.
Than an
He
A.
didn't need to be in the match, Deeks. He didn't need the case. There was other wrestlers at the time that could have benefited from the case so much more than the poster boy for WWE. The guy that sells 200 shirts years.
I will say though, look at it from another perspective. If they were still going to go with someone at this point, they had to have someone lose it, right? If anyone else would have lost it, I think the only one that may have had more of a chance of bouncing back would have been Chris Jericho. But Jericho had only just returned, right? Big Show he was up and down as a heel and face anyway, and Kane was up and down as a heel and face, and he wouldn't have done any justice for the Miz. So the only person out of the rest of that collective would have been Cena. And if they were going to have him lose it, Cena losing it made sense. So I feel I would put him in B.
No.
I would put him in, like I said, I put him in C originally.
I will reluctantly drop down my grade from an S to a B just for a B.
Okay, I will put him. I think that's fair. Like I think he goes if he goes in B, it's because he done something. Because he done something.
I gave him S only because he proved to the whole world and every superstar out there that having that case does not make you a champion.
Yeah,
but he did not need the case. He shouldn't have been in the match.
Yeah, but everyone else in that match, I mean, as I just said, Cena, Big Show, Jericho, Kane, and The Miz.
Big Show, Jericho. Yes, The Miz did not need the match. Cena did not need the match.
That's what I'm saying. So there's not
fine.
A lot more...
I'll put him in a B, so we agree, but he still belongs in C.
Hey, listen, you know how I feel about Del Rio.
I've come down 2 levels for that B. All right, I didn't want to move up past A. So
I've got to drag myself through concrete to get to that next level.
2013. Let's try and speed them up a little. 2013, we had the World Heavyweight Championship briefcase winner as Damien Sandow, and we had the WWE Championship briefcase as Randy Orton. Now, Damien Sandow, Sandow was defeated by John Cena. He was an unsuccessful cash-in. I will say, so Cena was the first one to announce that he was going to have the match. However, Sandow was the first person to cash in and lose. That's another interesting fact. I will put Sandow though, because he was probably one of the guys that no one thought could actually do it. Kind of felt like a Miz, which is strange because obviously later on it becomes the Miz's stunt double. But him having the chocolate looking briefcase, I will put him in C. And I'll stick with that. I'm happy with him sitting in C.
I'm jumping in here.
Yeah, go on.
We're talking about the man who wore a bathrobe to the ring. Something that a hotel would give you for checking in. It's Damien Sandow. We're not talking about, the rated R superstar or CM. We're talking about Damien Sandow.
Mm-hmm.
He belongs where his initial starts, D.
Oh, man.
It was pointless. It was rubbish. It was unentertaining. Again, we're talking about someone
What do
who
you
wore a
mean?
scarf and a hotel dressing room robe to the ring. I've just
Come
left
on
my
now.
5-star hotel. I'm Damien Sandow. I'm here, people. We don't want to see you. No, I
Really?
don't think anyone did.
You didn't enjoy that run at all. Him
No.
and Cody going back to back, the Rhodes
Cody,
Scholars,
yes.
and then
Yes.
and then
Cody
the
Rhodes.
briefcase being thrown into the river, and then when they pulled it back out again, it was dented and covered in like bits of grass and
Hold on.
nettles and stuff.
Hold on. The Cody part, yes. But it shouldn't have been Damien's. It shouldn't have been bathrobe. All right. You've got Cody Rhodes and someone wearing a towel.
Yeah. All right. Look. All right. So you think
Cody
he's
Rhodes,
D,
yes.
D,
Cody Rhodes,
what you
S
say?
tier. Damien Sandow, D for Damien.
Deeks, what you saying?
I'm not saying anything. Just put him in C.
I think I
Do you
broke
agree
the.
with me, or do you agree with him?
Do you agree with him, or do you agree with me that bathrobe should be in D?
Look, his run was okay. It was not a D. It's a C for me. Give him a C, bro. He's gone.
Yeah.
What, a C for cleaning?
Yeah. There we go.
I've broke Deeks.
I tell you what. Do you know what? He doesn't get the rating D for Damien. He gets the rating of C because it looked like a chocolate slab of a Money in the Bank briefcase. It's one of my favorite looking briefcases they've had. It's amazing. And then when he handcuffed it to himself as well, so he couldn't lose it. Oh man, it was such a fun run.
But
How you
again,
didn't
we're
like it, I
talking
will
about
never know.
someone wearing a bathrobe. It was
Let's
just
move
a
on.
bathrobe.
Shades, please shut up.
Let's talk about someone that's not wearing a bathrobe and instead they're wearing tight pants. And that's right. We're talking about Randy Orton. He won the WWE Championship briefcase. Orton defeated Daniel Bryan to win the WWE Championship at SummerSlam after Bryan had won a title from Cena with Triple H as a special guest referee. Triple H also hit the pedigree on Daniel Bryan prior to Randy Orton cashing in.
Mhm.
Guys, one of my favorite cash-ins. This is one of my favorite. If I had a top 5 cash-ins, maybe we'll even do that as another video. But like of each person. But of all the cash-ins that we've had, I would put Randy Orton. This one goes in at A tier because we finally thought that Daniel Bryan was getting the WWE Championship. It was the whole moment. Triple H calling it all down the line. Then bang, out comes Randy Orton. Triple H is looking at Daniel Bryan. Hits him with the pedigree. Oh, everything about it, insane. Absolutely insane. It's one of my favorite cash-ins. And I think it really turned Triple H back into that heel that we had, which is what we needed at the time.
Yeah.
And obviously it helped Randy Orton as well. So for me, I put it in A.
I agree with everything you've said. Yeah, you've literally said what I was going to say. He belongs in A. Now, I'm going to draft your attention to something that's just crossed my mind after talking about Damien. The picture that we have for Damien makes him look like he's just walked out of a shower in a hotel room. Like he's rehearsing to walk down the ramp. Arms up.
Leave him alone. All right? Leave him alone.
Randy Orton belongs in the A tier, possibly S tier. It was a great run, great feud with Triple H. And Damien was nowhere near it.
For me, Randy Orton's
if you're alive,
run
it's your turn.
with that briefcase was epic. It was good. He teased it quite a few times. He had some good promos with it. His cash in was amazing and genius by the creative team. So for me, it'd be an S for me as well.
Okay. So where are we putting him? S or A?
I'd have an S all day long.
Shades?
S.
All right. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and it's something that we haven't done yet. I'm just gonna move the next one to where I think it needs to go, and I'm not gonna take any shit from either of you because if you disagree, I'm gonna kick you out of the stream. Okay? This is the only one where I'm about to say where it goes, and I know you're all gonna agree with me. So
Hold on. Based on
Rollins-
that opinion, are we allowed to move ones that are
No.
already on the board?
No. This is just on this because this should be unanimous,
Oh,
regardless.
I was going to move
Seth
bathroom.
Rollins goes in the S tier, and I don't think there's any questions about it. Because
Questions
he's
asked. That's where I was going to put him.
the first person to cash in at WrestleMania. The moment where we finally thought Roman Reigns was going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and out comes Seth Rollins, turning into a triple threat match, and pinned Roman. Not Brock, pinned Roman. It was like the perfect time. This was when we had Seth Rollins turn into the heel. He turned his back on the Shield, and this was his first moment for him as an independent wrestler. And I think this is one of the best Money in the Bank cash-ins that we have ever had. On top of that as well, this is the same WrestleMania year that Seth Rollins went up for the curb stomp and Randy Orton hit him with the RKO. Same show. So even that alone, like that's one of my favorite WrestleMania moments. But Seth Rollins sits in that S tier all day, every day. And I mean, I'm hoping you guys don't disagree with me.
I don't disagree. It was brilliant. Stick him in S. Moving on.
Deeks.
Deeks better say S.
Yes, I'll say yes. I agree with you, boys. It was a great run. It was a great teaser. It was a good cash in all day long. Gives him an S.
Yeah, it has to.
Speaking of S,
is that where you want to put Damien
next up
Sandow?
is my fellow Ginger. Now, I want to do what you've just done because I remember this run perfectly. Shane, I'm just literally gonna say where he should go. Sheamus belongs in the A tier.
Really?
Because at that point in his career, he did something to carry him over. He needed that stepping stone, and they gave him that with Money in the Bank. And the way he portrayed himself with the briefcase, I'm gonna use a name that's being used for other people, but like he was like the Irish enforcer. It was brilliant. The Celtic Warrior.
Wait, where did you say you put him?
A.
Do you know what? I will agree because
the way he portrayed himself.
No.
With
It wasn't
the Celtic
even that.
Warrior background.
It wasn't. For me, it wasn't that. It was we finally get the moment of Reigns versus Ambrose for the vacant title.
That too.
Like to me, that's the bigger moment there. And then he cashed in. Like that, it was so good because obviously we had the stuff coming down, like the confetti coming down. It wasn't a good run though. I will say it was a great cash in, but it wasn't a good run.
Yeah, his run wasn't the best. Didn't tease it a lot. I didn't really see him come out of it a lot to do anything with it. But the cash in was perfect. So yeah, for me, it's an A as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Man, that feels so long ago. Like all of these, just talking about them feels so long ago.
Oh yeah.
Like we're getting old now, boys.
2015. That's when that was.
I think we should let Deeks pick where the next one goes.
The Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose.
What a run! Year, by the way,
this guy had. This one was 2016, I believe.
Yeah. Do you know who he cashed in on, or do you want the information?
I can't remember off the top of my head who he cashed in on.
All right, so Ambrose cashed in the briefcase less than an hour after winning it, defeating Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. After Rollins defeated Roman Reigns. I will say though, this was the moment where every single member of the Shield had held that title on the same night and was a champion holding that title on the same night. As Roman had it, Seth beat Roman, and then Ambrose cashed in on Seth.
You stole my lines.
I'm sorry, but where are you sticking him?
You stole my lines. You just sold everything I wanted to say, so I'm gonna finish my statement off and say I want to put him in S because it was amazing for him. So yeah, S.
Okay. You think that's where he goes? Oh man, that's bold.
Yes.
100% S.
I would have put him in A.
agree.
No, I would have put him in A.
No, he is an S tier. It's 2-1. He belongs in S tier, and
hmm
Caps, we're not going to take anything from you. It belongs in S, and that's where he's staying.
No, the only reason I would have put it in the A, and obviously I'll give my thing, was it was a great moment, right, for what he done. And when he was cutting his promos, like, when I become the champion, I'm gonna put Michael. Was it? I'm gonna get rid of JBL, and I'm gonna have a fish there, like a fish bowl on the commentary, and all this, the whole lot of it. But at this point, Ambrose was becoming a comedy act. He wasn't as lunatic as he was. Like, we had Mitch the Plant, and like we lost that crazy wackiness of Ambrose from the Shield, and we got comedy Ambrose. It just
I enjoyed that. That's why I liked his cash in, his run, and his everything he done it. I loved it.
It was the I wouldn't say comedy. It was the cocky nature of the lunatic fringe.
Come on, you're not saying comedy, bro. He walked out with a hot dog cart and then squirted blimmin' tomato sauce and mustard in the faces of wrestlers.
Yes. Do you not understand the words lunatic, fringe? You know, you're saying comedy. No, they just dove deeper into the lunatic state.
All right, guys, this one's a bit more controversial. Let's get to 2017 with Carmella, the first women's Money in the Bank winner. Now, other women competitors, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Natalia, and Tamina, right? Now, this is what gets controversial. She won with the briefcase. However, Ellsworth had helped her. He climbed up and dropped it down to her, right? She was then stripped of that briefcase and then had to go again on SmackDown. And then Ellsworth was banned from the arena for the match, but he interfered again, and Carmella won for a second time. She then successfully cashed in on Charlotte Flair to win the Women's SmackDown Championship, 10th of April, after Flair was attacked by the Iconics during a promo. And that's when Carmella moonwalked past Flair as she won it. Now, I'm not a fan of the way she won the Money in the Bank. However, I feel like having a heel as the first person is always great, because when a face does it, it might not always work the way it did. However, she was kind of tweening between face and heel because Flair was the champion, and a lot of people were getting sick of Flair at the time. So the Iconics attacking her got a pop. I would put Carmella in B. Deeks?
For me, I liked Carmella's win. It was unique and special, and unlike the second was done before. The redo was a cool as well, and especially the way they tried banning someone from example, but it didn't work for him. So it was unique and cool. Nice twist on it. The cash in was decent. Her run was decent. So yeah, I agree. A minus. So yeah, I'll give you a B as well for that.
I love how you're coming up with grades that we don't have. B minus.
No, because
A-.
that's where it would be. So if it's an A plus, then obviously it'd go to S. If it was an A minus, you could maybe A minus.
I can deal with this in about 4 seconds. Carmella?
Yeah.
It belongs in the B tier.
Done. All right, guys. The next one on the same year, 2017, we've got Big Bad Baron Corbin.
Can I just throw out where I think he should go?
Yeah, go for it.
Once off it.
What?
I'm just gonna pick where I think he should go.
All right, go for it.
B. And now I want your opinions on it. B tier.
Right, let me just read out what happened. So, the cash-in result. Corbin was defeated by Jinder Mahal thanks to a distraction by John Cena on August 15th, 2017 episode of SmackDown, making him only the second briefcase winner to lose on a cash-in attempt. However, overall third, because obviously Cena was the first person with the briefcase to not win. You think B?
Yes. The
I
whole
was gonna
Jinder
say C,
Mahal thing, and and everything. And then, did you really need Cena? No, not really. But
yeah,
it was still
that's why I would knock
great.
it down to a C personally.
It was still great what Baron was doing. They didn't, it's just it could have been other people. Which is why I've just stuck him in the middle, because I remember the run very well with Cena, Jinder, Baron.
I will
It's a
say
B grade,
you're
B C, one of the two. I'm not too
you're
fussed where we
saying
put it
if
in,
you were
but it's
saying it would have been
definitely
other
C or
people,
B.
if you're saying that it would have been other people, just so you know, the other people that were in this Money in the Bank match: AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura.
There you go.
Personally, Baron Corbin shouldn't have been the pick to go for the Money in the Bank. It should have been Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's
Right?
why I'm going middle down, B, C,
I would
C
say
or
C,
B.
because
Doesn't
obviously
matter. I'll leave this
the
one
run
up to
wasn't
you
the
guys.
best. I would say the run wasn't the best. The cash-in wasn't the best. I just think everything about the thing with Corbin, obviously the rumors were that he had got some heat backstage, which is why he lost it as well. I just at this point I wasn't a fan of kind of Corbin, because the lone wolf character kind of lost its shuffle and its way on the main roster when he had come up. Unfortunately, because Baron Corbin in NXT was incredible, but he just didn't translate well on Raw and SmackDown. So personally, I will put him in C.
Unfortunately, boys, I've got to agree with you, boys, here. But I'm not giving him. I'm not going to put him in a C. I'll give him a B. He was
All right.
NXT amazing. He was on fire. Came up and didn't work for him properly. So yeah, B for me. It was good. It was an okay run. The cash in could have been better, but and being the first person to lose a proper cash in by getting screwed. Excuse the language. Yeah, I'll give him a B for it.
All right. 2018, guys. We've only got a few left now. We're getting there. Alexa Bliss won. She cashed in. Bliss won the WWE Raw Women's Championship same night, defeating Nia Jax after also taking out Ronda Rousey, who was competing against Jax for the title. I'm not a fan of the same night ones, to be honest. I think if they work for certain people. I do like to have people kind of run with the Money in the Bank for a little while. To be honest, Alexa was good. Yes, she got the title, but no, it wasn't for me. I put her in B.
I put her in B as well. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't great. It was okay. It was mid tier. Yeah, it's a B, man. It's a B at the end. There's not even much really to say about it.
Yeah, for me it's a C myself, but I'll go you boys. Give it a B. It's fine. Yeah, wasn't the best. I'd enjoyed it more if you run with it for a little bit, but yeah.
Again, another one, Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman was the next Money in the Bank winner in the men's for 2018. Strowman attempted to win a Universal Championship from Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell, but the match ruled as a no contest due to interference from Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, who pepper sprayed special guest referee Mick Foley. A second referee determined neither Strowman nor Reigns could continue after the attacks by Lesnar. It fell flat, man. Strowman didn't need the title. He didn't need the briefcase, sorry. The people in the other people that were in this: Bobby Roode, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Rusev, Samoa Joe, and The Miz. Again, stacked roster, and it got given to Strowman at this point, who didn't need it. So, and then the way it was cashed in, fine, but no, for me, it falls in C.
Yeah, for me, Braun never needed never needed it. It was hot anyway. He was always around the title picture. He didn't need the briefcase. So yeah, I'm gonna just C for me, maybe a B plus. That's it, really. Maybe a B minus. Sorry. So yeah, I'll give him a C. Braun was a good wrestler, good guy, but yeah, no, didn't need a briefcase for me.
All right, Jade.
So yeah, B minus C.
Is he dead?
I finished, mate. Yeah, go on.
Jade?
Pause for a second. Caps, is Deeks cutting in and out for you?
No.
Okay, we'll continue.
Alright.
Uh,
You put him.
I'm going to agree with you, boy. B, C, wasn't great. Great wrestler. Great superstar. It just wasn't very good.
Alright.
If I had to pick, I'd say C.
You are with that, Diggs?
Yeah, fine with me, mate.
Next we have Bailey, who won in 2019. Jesus, I thought it feels later than that. She cashed in. Bailey defeated Charlotte Flair, poor Flair, on the same night to win the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship after Flair defeated Becky Lynch to win the title with help from Lacey Evans. Again, it's another same night cash in, and I can't stand them. So sorry, Bailey, but you go in the B category for me.
No. I really liked Bailey. You know, the whole hugger section. You know, the inflatables on the stage. Bailey was great, but it's not B. It's lower. I love when there's a decent run with the case. It's a D.
D.
It wasn't great.
No, you can no way can you
D
say Bailey's
harsh.
run. You can't put
D's-
Bailey here. You can't put her next to Swagger. You can't put her next to Swagger, right? And then say Sandow is in a C.
I'm saying
Not a chance.
bathrobe should be a D. You know,
she's got to go up here.
we agree to disagree.
All right, well, Deeks, make the decision.
I can't put Bailey next to Swagger and below Damien Barfield Dagger. I have to put her in
Put her
speed.
under
I'm
Braun
sorry.
Strowman then.
Where's she going? I think she's got to go in B.
No. It's the same night cashing, and it wasn't even good. Mad respect to Bailey, yeah, but it wasn't even good.
Alexa was a same night cash in. So by
No,
that logic, you need to put her on C.
You're saying B. Dix is currently broken again because I keep calling Damien Bathrobe, and I'm saying D. So we're put her in C.
Deeks, where you putting her?
I want B, but if you boys are happy with C, I'll go with C.
I think she goes in B.
Right, B is in.
Oh, it's. I said D. You said B. Stick it in C.
Dude, if you think the same night cash in is bad, right? Then you've got to move Kane. You've got to move Alexa Bliss.
No. It's not the same night cashing. It's the way it was done. Kane, brilliant. You know, it just wasn't great.
Alexa wasn't great either.
Well, like Damien wearing a bathrobe isn't great.
At least he had an entertaining run with the briefcase.
Oh yes, I'm Damien Sandow. I carry my briefcase and my bathrobe.
Yes. All right. Anyway, moving on. 2018, probably another favorite that was very interesting. Now, even though at this moment in time, during that time, he didn't need it, he made it very, very, very interesting. And that is Brock Lesnar, because Lesnar came out with the Beast box. And obviously he was listening to music. He was teasing who to cash in on. At that point, we had Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston. However, Lesnar successfully defeated Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules to win the WWE Universal Championship after Rollins successfully defended his title with Lynch against Corbin and Evans in a last chance winner takes all Extreme Rules mixed tag match. Man, I'm all for it. I think Lesnar, it was fun. Like I said, there are other people. The other competitors in this: Mustafa Ali, Andrade, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Randy Orton, Ricochet. So many fresh guys there that had the chance that could have taken this. Lesnar ran out as Ali was at the top of the ladder. So Brock Lesnar come out at the end of the match. So the way he won it, typical Brock Lesnar style, and then cashing in the way he did, typical Brock Lesnar style. So for me, he goes in A.
No.
Where'd you put him?
B.
Okay, Deeks.
He did not need. Hold on. He did not need the case.
No, but what he done with the case was great.
What he done with the case was great. But at the end of the day, it's Brock Lesnar. He did not need the case. He did not need to win. He did not need the momentum. Did not need a stepping stone. If he didn't win the case, he would have still gone on to Mania.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you said, from the participants that were in that match, it should have been at any of them besides Brock Lesnar. So B
Yeah, but
for
when you
Brock. He
again,
goes in B.
but again, the other participants that were in the match, Mustafa Ali would not have been believable as a champ at that time. Andrade come up, he wasn't doing much. Baron Corbin had already done it, and he was in a bad position. Drew McIntyre, yes. Finn Balor, yes. Randy Orton, yes. Ricochet was there just to do the spots. So there was only out of the
No,
list
but
of
like he
people,
didn't
there
need
was
it.
only 3. No, he may not have needed it, but at that point, neither would Randy Orton. Like, so when you start narrowing it down, there wasn't
Begrudgingly,
many
I'll move
people
him
there.
to A.
So I would say personally, Brock goes in A. But if you think he goes
I
in B,
will
fine.
agree with
Deeks, where do you
you.
put him?
Well, I'm going to throw a spanner in the complete works here, and you guys are going to hate me now. I loved Brock Lesnar's run. It was funny, entertaining, and amusing as hell. So I'm going to throw a spanner in the works and say Brock needs to be an S.
I would put.
Hold on, that's 2 A's and an S.
I would happily put Brock Lesnar in the S tier because he's the only. But listen, because he made it interesting. Don't forget.
He made it so much fun with a briefcase.
Don't forget, right? We had Bailey same night cash in. Then we had Braun Strowman failed cash in. Alexa Bliss same night cash in. Baron Corbin failed cash in. Carmella same night cash in. Dean Ambrose was same night cash in. So that for the last like 4 or 5 years, no one had done nothing with it. The only person that actually done something with it was Lesnar.
I loved it. Even though he didn't need it, I loved it. So yeah, it's an S for me.
I will put him in S tier.
All right, these are a little weird, by the way. These next ones. So 2020. This is COVID times. So this was a pre-recorded video. Obviously, it was done. I don't know how we deal with Asuka because she didn't cash in. You remember? So Asuka comes out.
At this point, I dropped out at the time, so I wasn't in. So I don't remember these two.
Okay, so I'll give you a quick rundown. None. A women's cash-in result, none. It was revealed on May 11th, 2020, on the episode of Raw, following the pay-per-view, that the match was actually for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, due to then champion Becky Lynch announcing that she was taking time off due to being pregnant. So Asuka was actually going for the title. Title was in the briefcase. So Becky Lynch come out, cut a promo. Asuka come out. The title was on a podium. The briefcase was on a podium. Then that's when they done the announcement. And it was probably one of my favorite lines. You go and be I think she says, you go and be a warrior. I'm going to go and be a mother. And then that's when she dropped the announcement that she was pregnant. I would say middle ground. It's hard to judge the way it was done. So I think
B grade.
I think she goes middle ground for B because I think she would have had a good run as a Money in the Bank.
Unfortunately, I can't judge it, boys, because I didn't watch these bits. I fell out of it for a year because I was doing other things. So sorry, boys, I can't judge it. So I can't say anything.
Okay, the next one then. Shades is
Hell yeah.
trying to run this. We've got Otis. Now Otis won it because, and I'll give you a quick rundown, Deeks. Otis, the only reason he was the Money in the Bank briefcase winner was because it was dropped from the top and Otis caught it at the bottom. He didn't climb the ladder.
It's S tier.
He
It's
then-
brilliant.
No, it wasn't. Because he
It
loses it.
is.
Listen, he loses it.
Just Otis standing there and catching the briefcase. Like, come
It
on.
was bad. It was so bad. Otis then lost that contract to The Miz. And The Miz
I was
defeated Drew
joking, by the way.
McIntyre at Elimination Chamber to win the WWE Championship. So for me, I put Otis in D. Because the only thing he was going to do, they brought in a thing of stipulation that if he wanted to, he could use that to cash in on the tag titles. So clearly they didn't want him as a world champion. So even that alone lowers the rating of D, yeah? D or B?
B.
Saying bravo.
You think
Did anyone-
he goes there?
Yeah, it's a B. I was joking about S. You know,
I would put him
at the end of the day, it was ridiculous.
All right, I will
It
limit
was
him to a
funny.
C.
It
will
was
put him in
funny,
C.
but it was ridiculous. It wasn't needed.
I will put him in C. I can't put him in B.
I don't know what happened there. I just got thrown out of everything.
Where's he going?
We've only got 4 in C. Bathrobe looks lonely. Put him in C.
All right. So obviously, Otis loses his contract to the Miz, thankfully, and it's a nice run. And the Miz actually cashes in on Drew McIntyre after he was attacked by Bobby Lashley, which was really, really fun. No one thought it was going to happen, and it was a good way to kind of put a couple more people in the shuffle. And I think Miz, yes, he was up there once already on the S tier, but this time it kind of drops down. I would say he sits in B. It wasn't the best. I think he only had it for like a week, 2 weeks, but it
Yeah,
needed
I
to
can't
kind of
judge
be hot
again,
potato.
boys. Sorry. I was
It
still
kind
out
of
of it.
needed to be hot
Boys.
potato to help a story. It was literally used to help another story. So
Yeah.
that's why I would put him in B.
I agree with you, mate.
Yeah. All right. 2021. We've got Nikki Ash. Nikki, almost a superhero, which is what the ASH stands for, defeated Charlotte Flair to win WWE Raw Women's Championship on the episode of Raw the night after. Man, I've realised Charlotte Flair got cashed in on a lot.
Yes.
Successfully, yeah.
Flair and Cena, I've been screwed quite a few times.
Look, I think it was fun to see Nikki Ash win it. It was a good way to use the anyone can do it. It's a superhero kind of thing, but it wasn't the most entertaining. And sorry, Nikki, but I think she goes in C.
Yeah, I was back in just about this point, just about back in time for this bit. So I remember his crashing. I remember seeing it. So yeah, it was a nice little run she had, nice little bit of work she did. I wouldn't give it a C. I'll give it a B minus. But yeah, so B C for me. I might be that.
All right, Shades.
I agree with you guys. It wasn't great. It wasn't special. It belongs in C.
Okie dokie. Oh, this is a fun one. Biggie. Biggie.
I already know where this needs to go.
He defeated Bobby Lashley to win the WWE Championship 13th of September 2021 on the episode of Raw after Lashley successfully defended the title against Randy Orton. Man, I loved seeing this. This was such a fun one. Where do you think it goes?
Tier stuff.
Oh, no, man, I was going to say A. S is strong. S is
No,
look
man,
at the
it's
list.
Big E. It was great what he done. Like, it was just brilliant. You wanted to watch. You wanted to see where it was going. It's just such a great, funny character with the case as well.
All right. Deeks?
Yeah, I liked him with Big A, especially with New Day with him as well. So yeah, it's an A plus for me. So yeah, a bit S as well.
All right. Now it gets a little mushy. Wasn't a fan of one of these. All right, Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan won it in 2022. She cashed in on Ronda Rousey the same night. So Liv Morgan defeated Ronda Rousey same night to win SmackDown's Women's Championship immediately after Rousey successfully defended the title against Natalya. Now, this was one of the better ones for the women. And the fact that it was Ronda that was getting screwed in the process, and it was so good to see because I was sick of Ronda by this point. She was annoying me. I think Liv Morgan goes in that A category. But actually, I think Liv Morgan goes in the S category because
100%.
no one expected it to happen.
See, I'm biased. I love Miz to pieces, so I love her to pieces. So yes, it means an S all day long. She's a great
Oh,
wrestler,
well, there we go.
great
Freaking easy.
personality. She pulls everything off wickedly. So yeah,
All right. This one's again, I'm unsure. Theory. He was added the night before the PLE by Adam Pearce. Theory was unsuccessful in his attempt to cash in on the contract on Seth Rollins for the United States Championship on November 7th, 2022, on the episode of Raw. Even though Rollins was attacked by Bobby Lashley prior to the cash in, Theory was also attacked by Lashley during the match, allowing Rollins to win by pinfall. Now, Theory was kind of teasing. This is, remember, you guys, you got to remember at this point now, Roman Reigns is the longest, is a long ass reign, is into his reign a lot now. All right. And there was not a chance that Theory was going to be the guy to defeat Roman Reigns. So basically, mid-card title was where we were going with this. I'm annoyed because it would have been nice to have Theory kind of have this run. And it wasn't good. And personally, even though he was cashing in and he was doing his job of teasing and stuff like that, unsuccessful. And I didn't enjoy him winning the briefcase the way it was done. So he goes in the C category for me.
thing for me. Sorry, Shades. So for me, things for me, Theory when he got this briefcase was in a really bad way because he couldn't cash in against Reigns at all. He was actually running the risk of being the first person to never ever cash it in.
Yeah. The clock
But
was ticking.
lucky for him, WWE allowed him to cash in on the United States Championship instead.
Well, by this point, they was allowed to do that because because only a couple of years before then, Otis was going to be allowed to use it to cash in on the tag titles. So this is where the Money in the Bank kind of gets a little bit funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, where would you categorize him? Where would you put him?
It was an okay run with the case. The cash in was a decent attempt. I'll give it a B plus,
Okay.
max.
Just so you know as well, to add to it, he was 25 at the time, and he was the first superstar to cash in his contract for a mid-card title. Even though it was lost, he lost. He was the first person to do that.
Yeah, B plus, max for me.
Okay. Shades, where you putting him?
Where do I? Just casting my brain back a couple of years. We got to remember he was still a young guy. You know, like nowadays he's much better. You know, more skilled, more confident, more. You know, just all round improvement now. So based on how he was then, and how the cash in went, and that, I'm gonna put him in B.
B. Okay. That's valid. Deeks, you're fine with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with B. I said B plus. So yeah.
All right. Here we go, guys. We're down to the final two. Now, 2023, we've got Io Sky, who cashed in successfully at SummerSlam, pinning Bianca Belair, who had just won the title from Asuka to become the new WWE Women's Champion. I think this was very, very interesting because this is obviously at a point with Damage Control. It felt like if Asuka won, they already had a backup plan. Like it felt like there was time, like they had something planned, as a faction, and I like the fact that it went from Asuka to another member of the faction without them having to actually fight. It was very clever the way it was done. So I would say this goes in B.
Yeah, I can agree with B. Maybe an A max. It was a good little run. She had briefcase. The planning was well done by WWE writing force. So yeah, I like it. It was good for me. So yeah, B to A. Yeah, for me.
Mm-hmm. Where's he gone?
Where
Shade.
do I begin?
Beginning.
I was very happy with the way it went.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was a great story. It was just laid out perfectly. I'm gonna put Asuka in A. You know, it was just very well done. Like the whole thing with the case, and it's just very good, to be honest.
Uh-huh. So you think EO goes in A?
Yeah, EO, not Asuka.
All right. I'll agree. Um,
Where do I begin here? This is brilliant. This is S tier. This is great.
man. So Damian Priest, obviously, successfully cashed in at WrestleMania XL, pinning Drew McIntyre, who had just won a title from Seth Rollins, to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Obviously, this happened this year, 2024. Guys, and I'll be honest, right? Until he finally cashed in, I actually thought Priest was going to be the one that never cashes in. Deeks, what you were saying about Theory, I thought they were actually going to do with Priest, because there was so many perfect opportunities for Priest to cash in on Roman, and then when Seth became the World Heavyweight Championship, there was loads of times when Seth was at becoming like this Iron Man character with a bad back, matches with Shinsuke, and not once did Priest come out. And I thought he was the most stupidest Money in the Bank holder I think we have ever seen across the entire board. He finally come out at WrestleMania, cashed in, and it was great. And so far, his run has actually been quite good. Um, I wouldn't say personally it goes in the S tier. I think it goes in the A tier, because the teasing was, he didn't do any teases, he didn't do anything spectacular until WrestleMania. So for me, it wasn't the best run with the briefcase. What he done at WrestleMania and since has been great, but that's why I would put him in A.
I will agree with what you've said. The run was not great, but the way that you had at WrestleMania just gone was
Mm-hmm.
it was perfect. It was brilliant. It's exactly what should have happened. You know, you had Seth Rollins. Why am I including uh, Seth and Drew and Punk? Because it took all four of them
Mm-hmm.
to make his moment great. You had Seth beaten up, bludgeoned up in the ring. You had Drew celebrating with his wife. You had Punk on commentary. It wasn't. He was there, weren't he?
Yeah.
He was there. He was on commentary, or sitting. Was he on commentary, or was he sitting next to the
He was on.
table?
He was sitting on commentary.
Yes. And then Drew could have just took his belt and gone to the back, but no, he had to get in Punk's face. And then you had the whole Punk and Drew section, and then boom. Now you have El Campeon running
Mm-hmm.
down to the ring. Just it took all four of them to give him a great moment. And it was a great moment, I think, for all four of them in different ways. And for that, I'm going to put him in an S tier.
Okay.
Just based on the WrestleMania, just based on the way the cash in was.
Mhm.
You know, it's different.
All right, Deeks, where do you put him?
I'm
Got
not
one
happy
A
with
tier, one S tier.
I'm not happy with an S, and I'm not happy with an A either. I'm middle, boys. I'm B. He started off good, went
Yeah,
very
come on now.
stale for months on end. I didn't like it, and then at the end he got hot again, and then cashed in. No, I don't like all that.
Dead run,
Seth's
wasn't it? It was a dead run.
Seth's was way more entertaining for the length of time he had it for. He had it so long and didn't even use it properly. As you said, he had like 12 chances to cash it in, never did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, sorry, mate, boys, not an A,
Hold,
not an S, as a B. Yeah, B.
hold on. What we have to remember is that WWE made that run so long, you know, and they gave him his nickname with the briefcase. And we're saying that he didn't have a good run, didn't tease nothing, but in a way, he still was teasing, just not in the ways that we
He
normally
wasn't
saw.
teasing. He wasn't teasing.
He
Because
teased it when he first got it. He teased a couple
There
times,
was a
and then
couple
he
of
went nothing for
little
months on
teases in
end.
there.
dude,
And then he teased again right at the end. No, sorry, boys, I can't have that. If you're a
It's a,
briefcase holder, it's got to be either cashed in quickly in a couple months, or drag that long, like Seth Rollins did, and tease it constantly will be a good cash in. For me, no. B, mate. No, all day long B. Sorry.
all day long S.
I think Priest's
Go on.
run with the briefcase. It started well, and then it went downhill so quick. There was no
So stale.
teases. And I think this is why as well, right? I think you have to look at it because this is one of the most fresher ones as well. Is we've done the entire tier of how the briefcase has kind of been dealt with, right? And we were saying exactly the same thing about Austin Theory. And Theory is in B, right? The same with Alexa Bliss, Bailey. I mean, if we're talking about the importance of the cash in, what happened, and all that sort of stuff, I am gonna say Del Rio is in C. The same stuff that we had with Del Rio, right? Basically, we had with Damian Priest. So this is why I think it needs to go in A, because if you're saying that Del Rio's what sits in a C and Priest sits in an S, Del Rio needs to go way up because of that. Because it's the likes of people like Del Rio with the Latin American people. Again, then we get Damian Priest.
Yeah, Priest. For me, Priest is not an S.
I think personally, I would put Priest.
I don't really want to give him an A. So B for me, mate. It was an okay start, a great finish, but the middle was so stale. I was only asleep watching him.
Yeah, the middle section of his run.
Yeah, it was awful.
We have to remember as well. We have to remember as well, though. He had the Judgment Day.
Yeah,
You had the whole thing with the Judgment Day. So that middle part of his run, he was also very much involved with the Judgment Day.
Right.
There was a lot going on for him.
He was also a tag team champion, a unified tag team champion.
Thing is, though, he had so many chances to cash in, though, on Reigns, on Seth, and didn't pull the trigger.
Bro, he didn't even tease. That's the thing.
It winds me up thinking about it.
That's what I literally said as we were discussing at the beginning.
I'm not moving off B. Sorry, boys.
I think he was one of the worst people because he just didn't do anything with that briefcase.
Yeah,
I will move down to an A.
Hang on, I'm just.
So yeah, I'm stuck. Yeah.
Why won't you move from a B to an A? What is it that makes you think that he
had every opportunity to cash in? He had the Judgment Day behind him who could help him with the bloodline. He never used it. So,
yeah, but what you need to remember is this: to be honest, I feel bad for him.
Why?
Hold on, because there was so many different stories going on that you had the bloodline, you had Cody, you had Seth, you had Drew, you had Punk, you had Logan Paul, for flip's sake. You had so much going on that instead of them making him cash in early, he had to wait.
I'm not knowing about length of it. Length is cool, but
No, but like
that
it got
6
stout.
months of stoleness was awful.
But it only got stout because there was so much going on in WWE.
I don't think that's why. Because look,
I do.
hang on, let me explain why. Hang on. So Seth Rollins, right? So Damian Priest, he said Sandow then. Damian Priest won the Money in the Bank on July the 1st, 2023, right? He didn't cash in till WrestleMania this year. Yeah? So July 1st till WrestleMania this year. Right, so that's almost, so he held it for 281 days, the longest time that a male wrestler has held the Money in the Bank briefcase ever for its entirety, right? 281 days. Now, bearing in mind, we were saying that we thought Theory was going to take forever. He only held it for 128. So Priest held it for double the length of time, nearly a full year, right? Or even 10 months, if not longer, right? 281 days. And in that 281 days, the World Heavyweight Champion, when Priest won that Money in the Bank, Seth was the World Heavyweight Champion because it was in London, right? So the entire run of Seth having that title, from when Priest having that briefcase to having the run, he could have gone at any point and cashed in on Seth. And Seth was on that run, as I said right at the beginning when we was having a discussion. Seth had the bad back because of the run with Shinsuke Nakamura. Everything about it. Seth went through so many people, obviously, and is on this run to make the World Heavyweight Championship credible when they brought it back. And not once did Priest even consider going out to cash in. And he wasn't going to do it on Roman. Like, I think it was one of the worst Money in the Bank runs until he cashed in my opinion. That's why I think because we have to add the cash in and the importance of what he's done, and obviously storyline as well, I would put it in A because of it moves stuff forwards. And he's been a good champion so far. But I would settle at a B. But I would move it to an A.
I will drop from S to A.
Deeks?
I'm being stubborn, boys. I ain't moving off B. Sorry, B's no higher for me and B, mate.
Come on, Caps, team up with me. Team up with me. Let's put him in A.
But that staleness, mate, in the middle killed me. He had so many opportunities to cash in on a wounded Seth Rollins and didn't do it. Sorry, no, B. B.
Come on. Come on now.
Honestly,
team up with me. Put him in A.
The more you say it, the more it makes me want to put him in B. Because you're right.
Deep, stop talking.
No, listen, all right? Anyone that has guys, the idea of having a contract in your hands ready to go at any moment, right? And you're not going to cash it in when the person literally is on the mat, barely able to move. He was in a last man standing match and still didn't. Seth was in a last man standing match against Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, come on now.
If that was me in that situation, I would have been all over Seth's butt like a crazy man.
Right. Hold on a second.
Stalking him for the briefcase. That's how bad I went after him.
Hold on a minute. I will move.
It's a B.
I have an offer for you both.
All right, come on.
I will move to a B if we move Bathrobe to D.
I can't because Sandow had a more entertaining run with the Money in the Bank briefcase than Damian Priest did.
You're talking about someone that's wearing a bathrobe and someone that looks like he's ready to rip your head off.
Damien Sandow's fun he is, mate. I don't mind him being at C, and I'm definitely not going up from my B. So no, it's B.
I think Priest has got to go in B. You know.
B all day long. Do not argue with me. Give
hang
up
on.
Shades.
Hang on. Shades, answer me this question, right? In no way does it go in the S tier. Okay, I think that's a given. However, can you actually say that the run that we had of Damian Priest, and I'm going to move it so you can see it, right? Visualize, can you honestly say that Priest belongs with RVD, Edge, Punk, Kane, Sheamus, and Io Sky? Or do you think he should sit here? Because he does not look right sitting there. It does not look right.
I
That's
can say the
mockery.
same for Bathrobe.
I feel like
Look
he
at
sits
who
there.
you've got in C.
Del Rio, Braun Strowman, Otis, and Nikki Ash. I
Well,
think
to
that's
be honest, Del Rio, I've been sitting there
the
thinking
one
about
that's
Del
making a
Rio. Del
mockery.
Rio's too low.
You're telling me that is a mockery on Del Rio.
Del Rio needs to
If
move.
Damian Priest goes in at A, Del Rio goes in A.
I think Del
I'm
Rio
sorry,
needs
but that's how you got to look at it.
Del Rio needs to move up. Damian Bathrobe needs to move down.
Yeah.
And I will put Priest. Because she's
You
right.
know it makes sense. Stop fighting it. It's a B.
I will
tell you
put
what.
Priest. I will put Priest in B.
Priest goes
But
in
we
B.
need to
However, I
move
feel
Del Rio.
Del Rio needs to go up. I think Del Rio sits in A.
Del
Because when
Rio
you think
up.
about it, Del Rio has to go in A, in my opinion.
Del Rio up. Bathrobe down. And Priest in
No,
B.
Sandow can't go down.
Sandow was fine in C. I'll give.
No, he's
I
not
think
fine in
Give him.
C.
I'll give him. I'll give the other one up. Yes, he can go up one level. I'll give him a B as well.
you think Del Rio belongs in B.
You're telling me that the hotel robe belongs in next to Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman, that his match was interfered by Brock Lesnar, and the match didn't even have a finish. Otis, who won the briefcase by catching it at the bottom of the ladder, and Nikki
At
Ash, who
least he
won
caught it.
and Nikki Ash that won it, and then cashed in the next night on an injured Flair. And you're telling me that Sandow doesn't belong in there? Sandow had a better run with that briefcase than John Cena. I'm telling you, he had a better run than John Cena.
Just to
And
annoy
also,
Shades, I will allow Sandow to go up one level, and I'll give you the other one up 2 levels. Just to
You
annoy
can't
Shades.
move Bathrobe up.
No, Sandow stays where he is. I think the only person that needs to move is Alberto Del Rio. I think he goes in A because of the importance. If you're not going to give me A, I'll happily settle for B. But I think he belongs in A. The importance of what he done with that briefcase is much higher than a lot of the others. I think it's definitely higher than Sheamus.
I will
You
begrudgingly agree with you.
hover him in the middle of both brackets, A and B. How about that?
I can't. He won't sit.
It's a shame.
I'm going to rely on something here. Comment section. Agree with me. Gang up on
No.
Caps and Deeks, and we need to move Bathrobe down into a D. I want to see it.
All right.
Yeah. Go on, move him up.
Where does Priest go? Does Priest stay in B?
Priest is B, definitely. Do not touch
Okay.
Priest. He goes in B.
And where does Del Rio go?
The Rio, I'll give it to you. I'll give him an A. He did do well with it. It was good. So yeah, I'll give you an
I
A.
begrudgingly agree.
So you think he goes up here, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll move him at the end because obviously that's where he was last moved. I think that's solid. I think that is a given. I think that's fair.
I think it's fair-ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
All right.
I'm
guys,
happy with the results.
Yeah.
Most of it will be around one of them. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. And me. All right, guys. it's been a long 2 hours almost of us discussing this tier list. Obviously, there's been some disagreements. There's been some agreements. It's been interesting. We've had wrestlers move a category, move up or down.
You've got
I
wrestlers
feel
wearing
like
a bathrobe.
There's been huge debates and laughs in this video, so it's as well.
regardless, right? I think this is quite a good and honest tier list. And I will say, I feel like we need to add a couple of people to this, but we can't do it yet because Money in the Bank hasn't happened. With that being said, I think it's the perfect time to do two things. One, plug the predictions. Obviously, the Money in the Bank predictions will be coming very, very soon once we've got the final entrance to the Money in the Bank male and female matches. And obviously, we're then gonna maybe we come back next year and we discuss if we still agree with this.
I don't care. I'll
We'll
wait
see.
a year, but bathrobe will move down to a D.
I'll tell you what,
But
right?
but what
At
I
some
will say,
point-
I have my prediction already for the winner of the men's
Right.
Money in the
Well,
Bank.
save
I
it.
think
Don't
Hold
No,
your
no,
breath,
no.
Mr.
no.
Shades.
I
Hold your breath.
want to drop this bombshell.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
it's
I don't want to
fine.
hear it. I don't want to hear it because I don't want to make it sway the predictions. All right, keep it on your head because
It's not going to
I don't
sway
want
the
it to sway
prediction.
any predictions. I think it's going to be someone different.
I know I
know
went
that
to
for a
be,
fact.
but I ain't saying it.
Right, exactly. So keep it until the predictions because that will tease the video for the predictions. Obviously, that will be live. So everyone that's watching now, thank you for watching the entire 2 hours. Obviously, it's been a long video. But yeah, so come back for the predictions. Obviously, we'll be doing the live. This has been the midweek video. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment other videos that you'd like us to do, other tier lists that you'd like us to do. And we will see you on the next one.
Gang up on Deeks. Gang up on Caps. I need bathrobe in a D.
Justice for Sandow. That is what we need.
Shut up about your Damien bloody Sandow, Mr. Bathrobe in C. I'm going to move Damien Priest down a level.
Listen, personally, this needs to happen. All right? This needs to happen.
Don't even go there with that. Don't go there with that rubbish.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace out, boys.